First, your time is the only thing you truly own. Do not give it away to people who slow you down, or to work that slowly turns you into a ghost. Money can be recovered, energy can return, but time does not come back. You may not understand this today, and that is all right. You will understand it the day you look back and cannot remember where entire months disappeared. Not because of one great disaster, but because of small daily concessions. That friend who only calls when he needs something, but never appears when you fall. That job that pays you just enough so you do not leave, while it slowly switches off the light inside you. Time is not usually stolen all at once. It leaks away slowly, like water from a broken pipe. And when you finally notice, you have traded pieces of your life for things you do not even respect. If something does not bring you closer to the person you want to become, it is pulling you away. There is no neutral ground. Second, take care of your body as if you were going to live inside it for the rest of your life, because that is exactly what is going to happen. At 18, the body forgives almost everything. At 50, it sends the invoice with interest. The body is patient, but it does not forget. At 18 you can sleep badly, eat garbage, run on stress, and still function. You think that is a victory. It is not. It is a loan. Years later, the pains arrive. The energy is not there the way it used to be. The back complains. The knees complain. And you wonder where it came from. It came from all the small things you thought did not matter. Moving your body, eating with some sense, and sleeping properly may sound boring. I know, but those boring things are what keep your options alive later, when other people are already running on a broken autopilot. Third, learn how to be alone. If you need company just to avoid falling apart, you are in danger. Relationships chosen from emptiness usually end badly. Healthy solitude is a brutal filter. It forces you to hear yourself without noise. It shows you what you actually enjoy when nobody is watching. And it shows you what you tolerate only because you are afraid of having nobody. When you cannot be alone, you accept almost anything to avoid facing that silence. Partners who treat you badly. Friends who only appear for the picture. Dynamics that make you smaller and smaller. Then you call it love. You call it loyalty. But often, it is fear wearing a nicer name. A young man who needs constant validation is easy to manipulate. All you have to do is give him crumbs. But when you can stand on your own, you choose from a different place. And that changes everything. Fourth, do not believe you are as smart or as special as you think. Listen more than you speak. Most serious mistakes come from a confidence that was never earned. That feeling of being one step ahead is addictive and dangerous. It makes you speak before you understand. It makes you decide before you measure. It makes you ignore signs that do not fit the story you want to believe. People who truly progress have one quiet trait: they doubt well. They ask uncomfortable questions. They compare information. They let themselves be corrected without turning it into a drama. Think about the young man who walks into a job convinced he is going to revolutionize everything. In 2 weeks, half the team cannot stand him. In 2 months, he is gone. Lowering the volume of your ego does not make you small. It makes you precise. And precision prevents expensive mistakes. Fifth, choose carefully who you admire. You will become more like them than you expect. That includes the way you think, the way you treat people, and the way you face trouble when it arrives. Admiration is an invisible mold. You end up copying gestures, priorities, and even the way people justify themselves when things go wrong. If you admire someone brilliant but cruel, you may start normalizing cruelty. If you surround yourself with people who solve problems, keep their word, stay loyal, and do not hide when things get difficult, that also becomes contagious. Watch what people do when nobody is applauding. How do they treat someone who cannot help them? How do they react when they lose? That is where the truth lives. Sixth, learn to do one valuable thing well. Something other people need. Your freedom begins there. Without that, you will always depend on someone who can do what you cannot. Freedom does not arrive through inspiration. It arrives when you can solve a problem that other people are willing to pay for. It does not matter whether it is writing, programming, selling, repairing engines, designing, building, teaching, or creating a business from nothing. If you do it well, you create value. And value gives you room to move. The person who masters nothing lives at the mercy of other people's decisions. He accepts what he can get. He negotiates from weakness. He carries things he should never have accepted. And eventually, you can hear it in his silence. Seventh, do not postpone uncomfortable conversations. If you leave them alone, they grow. Then they explode. Saying what needs to be said at the right time can save you years of silent damage. Uncomfortable conversations have a strange way of rotting when you lock them in a drawer. They begin as a small irritation. Then they become resentment. And by the time you finally speak, the problem is no longer small enough to handle calmly. Avoiding the conversation gives you a moment of relief. But the price comes later: tension, confusion, mental exhaustion, and a distance you cannot explain. Say things on time. With respect, yes, but without hiding. That is how you cut the problem at the root. Eighth, do not live afraid of making mistakes. But when you make one, learn quickly. Some people repeat the same mistake for decades and call it bad luck. It is not bad luck. It is lack of attention. Making mistakes is inevitable. You will make thousands of them, but repeating the same mistake again and again is not innocence. It is a decision disguised as distraction. The pattern is simple. You do something, it goes badly. You protect yourself with a comfortable story. Then you do the same thing again, and years pass. Look directly at what you did wrong. No elegant excuses. Adjust. Try again. Real progress is less dramatic than people think. It is made of small corrections, repeated constantly, almost boringly. That is where people separate themselves, in the ability to pay attention, adjust, and above all, stop lying to themselves. Ninth, the world owes you nothing. When you truly understand that, you stop waiting for permission and start building something that depends on you. Accepting this cuts one of the most comfortable traps at the root: permanent grievance. Victimhood works like this. When you believe the world owes you something, you spend half your life waiting for someone to repair an injustice that may exist only in your head. And while you wait, you do nothing. 10th, talk to her. Talk to him. It does not matter what they think of you, not as much as you believe. Most awkward moments last only as long as other people's memory, and that memory is usually short. Allow yourself to fail. Rejection feels heavy before it happens. After it happens, it is lighter than you imagined. The scene inside your head is almost always worse than the real one. And besides, nobody is watching you as closely as you think. Everyone is busy surviving their own life. You risk more by staying silent than by speaking. Opportunities disappear. Stories never begin. Doors remain closed because you never knocked. And when you mess up, you discover something useful. You can survive it. Sometimes, you even laugh. Think about the person who says nothing out of fear of looking foolish, then spends years wondering what might have happened. That regret is more expensive than one uncomfortable moment. Speaking trains you. It sharpens you. And sometimes, it opens doors you did not even know were there. Come on, damn it. Life is unbelievable. My 10 warnings are really one warning. One sentence so important that I would carry it written on my arm. This too shall pass. The good will pass. The bad will pass. Much sooner than you think. But even the bad things that happen to you can become useful. They can make you stronger. They can wake you up. And when you come out the other side, you will have grown enough to tell the story.